Every gardener has a few plants they wish they'd skipped. Maybe they took over the garden, needed too much care, or just didn't live up to the promise on the label. After years of trial and error, I found 6 flowers I'll never plant again, along with better choices that bring the beauty without the headaches. If you're planning your next garden, this list might save you a lot of time, effort, and frustration. Morning Glory is one of those plants that starts off looking like the perfect addition. Lush green vines and soft, trumpet-shaped blooms that greet you every morning. But once it takes off, it doesn't know when to stop. It grows fast, twining over trellises, fences, and even nearby shrubs, while dropping seeds that sprout everywhere. By the next season, you'll be pulling seedlings from places you never planted them, and it can quickly become more work than beauty. A much better choice is Clematis jackmani, a perennial climber that offers the same romantic vertical display, but with far more control. Its large, velvety purple blooms appear in abundance during summer, creating that same garden charm without the aggressive spread. It grows steadily rather than wildly, making it easier to manage on trellises, pergolas, or along fences. Clematis jackmani also rewards you with a longer bloom season and comes back reliably year after year. It blends beautifully with other perennials, doesn't self-seed invasively, and responds well to seasonal pruning to keep it tidy. With this clematis, you get the color, height, and elegance of a flowering vine without fighting to reclaim your garden from its grasp. Periwinkle might seem like the perfect ground cover. Evergreen leaves, pretty purple blooms in spring, and a reputation for being low maintenance. But once it's in the ground, it doesn't stay where you put it. The vines creep far beyond their original spot, smothering smaller plants and rooting wherever a stem touches the soil. Before long, it can take over beds, slip under fences, and pop up in places you never intended. A better option is creeping thyme, which offers the same dense coverage and charming flowers, but behaves far more politely. Its tiny blooms come in soft shades of pink, purple, or white and release a gentle fragrance when stepped on. It spreads slowly and predictably, filling gaps between stones, along paths, or at the edge of borders without overwhelming nearby plants. Creeping thyme also thrives in sunny spots and tolerates poor, dry soil, making it just as tough as periwinkle, but far easier to live with. It attracts pollinators, stays green for much of the year, and requires almost no maintenance once established. With this swap, you'll get a long-lasting, beautiful ground cover, minus the invasion. Crocosmia can be breathtaking when it's in bloom, arching stems lined with fiery red or orange flowers that stand out in any border. But once it's planted, it tends to spread quickly through underground corms, forming dense clumps that crowd out neighboring plants. Over time, it can become more of a maintenance headache than a feature, requiring frequent digging and dividing to keep it under control. A smarter choice is Daylily, which delivers the same vibrant, warm colors, but without the aggressive spread. Daylilies form tidy clumps of strappy foliage, topped with flowers that bloom for weeks in summer, and often rebloom later in the season. They stay where you plant them, and with countless varieties, you can match nearly any color scheme you want. Daylilies are just as hardy and low maintenance, thriving in a wide range of soils and tolerating heat, drought, and even some neglect. They're easy to divide every few years to refresh growth, and they blend seamlessly into mixed borders or mass plantings. With daylilies, you get the long-lasting color and structure of Crocosmia without the constant battle to keep it in check.
Japanese honeysuckle might win you over at first with its sweet fragrance and clusters of creamy white flowers that turn golden with age. But it's a vine that doesn't understand limits. Once established, it can quickly overwhelm fences, climb into trees, and smother shrubs. Its vigorous growth and heavy self-seeding make it a constant chore to control, and it can easily escape the garden into surrounding areas. A better alternative is trumpet honeysuckle, which offers the same charm and fragrance, but without the aggressive takeover. Its tubular red or orange flowers attract hummingbirds and butterflies all season, and the plant maintains a more restrained growth habit. It twines neatly over trellises or fences, adding vertical color without swallowing your garden whole. Trumpet honeysuckle is equally tough and adaptable, handling sun, partial shade, and a variety of soil types. It's evergreen in mild climates, semi-evergreen in cooler ones, and requires minimal pruning to keep it in shape. With this alternative, you keep the beauty and scent of honeysuckle while avoiding the headaches of an unruly, invasive vine.
Purple loosestrife can look like a dream in midsummer. Tall spikes packed with vivid magenta blooms, often buzzing with pollinators. But beneath that beauty is a plant that spreads aggressively by both seed and root, quickly forming dense colonies. Once it takes hold, it can choke out native plants, alter wetland habitats, and become nearly impossible to eradicate. A far safer alternative is blazing star, which offers similar vertical spikes of purple but grows in neat, manageable clumps. It's a magnet for butterflies, thrives in full sun, and brings a similar wildflower charm without the ecological damage. Blazing star also works beautifully in borders or meadow-style plantings, and it tolerates a wide range of soils, including moist areas where purple loosestrife often thrives. With its long bloom time and well-behaved growth, you'll get all the color and pollinator appeal without risking an invasion. Chameleon plant lures gardeners in with its heart-shaped leaves splashed in green, yellow, and red, plus its ability to grow in both wet and dry soil. But once it's in, it's nearly impossible to remove. It spreads through tough underground rhizomes that can run deep and far, reappearing even after you think you've dug it all out. Left unchecked, it can carpet entire beds and crowd out almost everything else. A much friendlier option is Coleus, or Plectranthus scutelloides, which offers the same vibrant foliage variety but without the underground takeover. With hundreds of color patterns to choose from, ranging from deep burgundy to neon chartreuse, Coleus can bring as much drama as you want to your garden. Coleus thrives in both sun and shade, grows quickly, and can be swapped out or repositioned easily since it's not a perennial in most climates. It lets you play with bold foliage color exactly where you want it without worrying about it returning somewhere you don't. Not every plant belongs in every garden. Sometimes the best thing you can grow is a better choice. By swapping these troublemakers for their well-behaved counterparts, you keep the beauty and lose the headaches. Gardening is always a learning curve, and every season is a chance to plant smarter. Here's to filling your garden with plants you'll love for years to come.